Well, for the first time in many weeks, Dalton trustees and Mayor Tiffany Henyard held a public meeting together, but not at Village Hall.
South suburban politician Tiffany Henyard appears to have lost control of both.
Okay, everyone, buckle up because this story is a complete mess, and I promise you will want to hear every single detail. Let's jump right into the latest drama that has been simmering in Dalton, Illinois, where Mayor Tiffany Henyard is at the center of some seriously wild antics. The way things are going, it feels like we're watching a reality show unfold in real time. Imagine this, a village board meeting. It seems simple enough, right? You would think that they would be talking about Dalton handling village affairs like responsible adults. But instead, Tiffany Henyard shows up in a solid gold blazer, no less, and begs for someone to return her. Wait, $619. You can't make this stuff up. A whole mayor wearing glistening gold and demanding several $100s at a public meeting.
You are a clown. We will continue to speak out against wrongdoing.
Why won't you step down?
No one else but Tammy Brown, the trustee. Imagine the courage it takes to demand money in front of the whole village. It seems that Tiffany is certain that Tammy owes her precisely $619, and she isn't letting it go. Tiffany is up there saying, "Give me my money back," as if the $619 would solve all of Dalton's problems. But wait, there's more. Tiffany is dressed up in a solid gold blazer, which, let's face it, probably cost more than she's asking for a just chef's kiss. Ironically, she's in front of everyone talking about being old money. Yes, she's the one making headlines for allegedly spending tens of thousands of dollars on parties and personal luxuries, as well as waiting for the ES skating rink, which only opens when she wants to throw in a bent. Imagine that while the town is drowning in debt, Tiffany is out here constructing ice rinks for her own party. Is that correct? This evening was a special board meeting because there has been some progress in the two previous meetings where business was not completed. However, this meeting was not without its share of 10 problems, so let's give everyone some background. Tiffany Henyard, the so-called super mayor of Dalton, has been under fire for months, and honestly, it feels like every week. There's a new scandal. She's been accused of using taxpayer money like it's her personal piggy bank, spending on everything from luxury dinners to extravagant travel, and apparently she's got this whole security detail rolling around with her 24/7s, which, by the way, has cost the town over $1 million in police overtime. One Dalton resident even said it feels like the police out there are militarized to protect her. We mean, imagine living in a small town where the mayor's got the police following her around like some kind of royal entourage. You really can't make this stuff up. What makes this whole situation even more ironic is that Tiffany isn't just dealing with local backlash, she's also caught the attention of federal investigators. Earlier this year, both Dalton and Thornton Township were hit with subpoenas, and Tiffany's political committee and personal charity are reportedly under scrutiny too. The FBI is looking into how taxpayer money has been spent, and let's just say the rumors aren't pretty. We're talking about luxury hotel stays, first-class flights, and even accusations that some of the village's money was used to fund personal shopping spree. It's wild to think that while Dalton's residents are struggling, Tiffany's allegedly living large on the public's dime. Henyard landlord showed up here to see her tenant in person after she says Henyard has been dodging both her and rent payments for months. Let's also not forget that during this time, many essential services in Dalton were suffering. Police cars were reportedly on the verge of being repossessed. Village employees had their access to basic work systems cut off, and bills were piling up, yet somehow there was always enough money to fund Tiffany's lavish lifestyle. It's no wonder residents are furious and calling for a change in leadership. With all this going on, it's hard to see how Tiffany can convince the public that she's the right person to lead Dalton for another term. So back to the $619. Tiffany is really pushing hard for that money, claiming it was supposed to come out of some kind of fund for trusted training. And sure, maybe Tammy Brown did owe her that, but like, isn't that what a private conversation is for? Why bring that up in a public meeting? It's giving desperate given the rumors circulating about her financial status. Tiffany was acting as though this money would make or break her. In reality, though, perhaps it will.
The home that she leased to Mayor Tiffany Henyard has filed eviction papers. She says Henyard has not paid her rent, and now
it appears that Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard has found herself in quite a predicament. Her landlord, Janetta Hale, has publicly claimed that Henyard and her boyfriend, Kamal Woods, haven't paid rent since August. a revelation that has sparked considerable controversy and confusion among Dolton residents. According to Janetta, not only has the mayor failed to keep up with her rent payments, but she and Woods allegedly went so far as to change the locks on the property, effectively blocking the landlord from accessing her own home. It's a baffling scenario, a mayor, reputedly earning a significant salary funded by taxpayer dollars, who is apparently behind on her rent and taking measures to avoid eviction. Henyard's landlord has now taken to seeking legal recourse, with efforts underway to serve eviction papers. However, the mayor seems to be evading this responsibility with an agility that could rival an Olympic athlete. The situation is all the more bizarre given that Henyard's lawyer has come forward to deny these allegations, casting a shadow of doubt on both sides of the story. Nevertheless, when the landlord herself shows up at public board meetings to openly demand her rent payment, it raises serious questions about Henyard's finances and her conduct. People are left wondering where taxpayer money is going if their mayor is engaging in such a high-profile rent dispute and making public spectacles for relatively small amounts, like $619, while allegedly being thousands of dollars behind on her rent. As Dolton residents watch this spectacle unfold, the contrast between Henyard's lofty position and the allegations of financial irresponsibility only serves to fuel the flames of public scrutiny and mistrust.
And I repeat, no one can run circles around me when it comes to public.
Money. Let's talk about the village's finances for a second. Dolton is reportedly $5 million in debt, and the situation has gotten so bad that some people are worried the police cars might get repossessed like what. But while all this is happening, Tiffany's out here spending thousands on things like billboards with her face plastered all over town. One resident even compared her to a South American dictator, saying it feels like Venezuela under Nicolas Maduro. That's how bad it's gotten. And it's not just the residents were fed up, even some of the village trustees have had enough. One trustee, Kiana Belcher, said that Tiffany's behavior has turned Dolan's politics into a joke, with her dressing up like a movie villain and blasting "Be Better Have My" at meetings. Like, can you imagine a whole mayor walking into a meeting like she's Nino Brown from New Jack City with a stuffed dog in hand, trying to intimidate her colleagues? It's honestly surreal.
Another board meeting got canceled because of a lack of a quorum.
And that came after a disagreement about where to hold the meeting, as trustees expressed concerns.
The public conversation surrounding Dolton's mayor, Tiffany Henyard, has only grown more intense as residents and observers alike voice their opinions on the financial state of the village. Fans online have not held back, with one commenter bluntly addressing the issue. "Let me get this right. Employees are sitting around on the clock with nothing to do, and this is supposed to be another reason they're broke? Cut labor and send people home." This critique has resonated with many, as it highlights what they see as Henyard's apparent mismanagement. The mayor has been vocal about the village's financial struggles, but residents are left scratching their heads as they observe village employees allegedly sitting idle due to a lack of resources, like internet access, which has been reportedly cut off. It raises questions about the priorities of the administration and whether resources are being effectively allocated. The underlying sentiment seems to be that Henyard is too focused on personal grievances and vendettas, rather than tackling Dolton's mounting challenges. Another commenter raised eyebrows with a pointed observation, saying maybe they should have told her to pay back that nearly $500,000 she supposedly spent on her mom's driveway. This statement struck a chord, referencing allegations of excessive spending on personal or questionable projects. "Shots fired," the commenter added, underscoring the frustration many feel. Yet, as fiery as the remark might be, it addresses a core issue: Henyard's spending choices. If Dolton's finances are in such dire straits, why isn't the mayor scrutinizing her own expenses first? The question reflects the growing skepticism surrounding Henyard's leadership, with residents increasingly questioning whether her spending aligns with the financial challenges she describes. These critical voices point to a fundamental disconnect between Henyard's words and her actions. As the conversation continues, the sense among the community is clear. If the village is indeed struggling financially, it may be time for Henyard to focus less on personal matters and more on addressing the pressing needs of Dolton's residents. In a move that has left many residents and political observers scratching their heads, Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard has officially launched her re-election campaign. That's right, despite a wave of controversies, including allegations of questionable spending habits, ongoing federal scrutiny, and a very public eviction dispute, Henyard is gunning for another term. She announced her bid on Facebook, exuding confidence and even predicting a landslide victory. While confidence can be commendable in a leader, it's fair to wonder if Henyard's optimism reflects reality. The recent years of her administration have been clouded by scandals and financial mismanagement claims, with residents questioning the decisions being made in the name of the village. From accusations of extravagant spending on personal items to allegations that taxpayer money has been used for luxurious getaways and lavish hotel stays, Henyard's financial decisions have ignited fierce criticism. Further fueling the controversy is the eviction lawsuit filed by her landlord, who claims Henyard and her boyfriend haven't paid rent in months. The landlord alleges they even changed the locks to prevent her from entering, making the situation seem more like a soap opera than a local government issue. But Henyard's confidence isn't the only bold move on the political stage. Her opponents, led by Trustee Jason House, are mounting a strong campaign under the Clean House Slate banner, arguing that Dolton is in dire need of new ethical leadership. House and his supporters assert that, under Henyard's leadership, the town's integrity has suffered, and Dolton residents deserve better than the current drama and disarray. Their platform promises transparency, fiscal responsibility, and a genuine commitment to the community, a stark contrast to what many believe Henyard has provided. The Clean House Slate movement seems to resonate with a growing number of residents who are tired of the ongoing scandals and looking for a fresh start for their village. House's group argues that Dolton's financial health and public trust are at stake, and after observing the last few years under Henyard's rule, they are determined to chart a new course. Their campaign message has been met with an enthusiastic response from residents who feel Dolton deserves an administration that prioritizes its people over personal interests. Despite Henyard's assertions of victory, the sentiment on the ground suggests she's facing an uphill battle. If the community's concerns about her spending, the federal investigations, and the landlord drama continue to swirl around her re-election bid, it may be challenging for Henyard to secure the support she's predicting. As the election approaches, Dolton residents are left with a choice that could very well shape the future of their town, whether to keep the current mayor who remains undeterred by controversy or to choose a new direction under the leadership of someone like House and his Clean House Slate. The village of Dolton has descended into chaos as meetings increasingly turn into shouting matches, with town finances in utter disarray and an atmosphere of mistrust and tension enveloping the community. At the heart of this turmoil stands Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who is now facing significant backlash, criticism, and multiple investigations, sparking what many residents perceive as a power and money grab. The mayor's actions have attracted scrutiny not only from Dolton's residents and trustees, but also from federal authorities. Reports indicate that Henyard is under federal investigation for her spending practices, with the FBI reportedly serving subpoenas to both Dolton and Thorndon Township, where she also holds an influential position. Allegations against her are numerous and vary in nature, yet each accusation feeds into a broader narrative of mistrust and potential corruption, which many say is undermining the stability and well-being of the town. Her reported spending habits have raised eyebrows among the community, with questions surrounding whether taxpayer funds were used for personal luxuries, and the lack of transparency in the town's finances has fueled public anger. Residents are demanding answers about how their money is being spent, especially when their needs seem to go unmet. Amidst this financial and political storm, Henyard's relationships with Dolton's trustees have soured, leading to an increasingly hostile work environment at village meetings. Once allies, many trustees have begun to distance themselves from Henyard, citing concerns over her leadership style, financial decisions, and handling of public funds. This fallout is evident in the growing dissent during board meetings, where arguments often devolve into heated exchanges, overshadowing any productive discussions. Trustees have reportedly voiced frustration over Henyard's approach to governance, feeling that her decisions reflect a lack of regard for the community's best interests. As the tension mounts, residents are becoming more vocal, calling for accountability and expressing disillusionment with the state of their local government. It's not just the board members who are turning against Henyard. The discontent extends to her personal life. with her landlord allegedly seeking her eviction. Reports claim that Henyard and her boyfriend have not paid rent in months, and her landlord has filed an eviction lawsuit against her. This personal dispute has only added fuel to the fire, giving her detractors another point of contention. As public outcry grows, Henyard's situation seems increasingly precarious, with her leadership and credibility under constant fire. And yet, despite the mounting pressures from the community, federal investigators, and even her landlord, Henyard remains unfazed, if not defiant, as she continues to assert her authority and maintain her grip on power. Her resilience, some might say stubbornness, in the face of scandal and controversy has left many wondering why she refuses to step down. With trustees, residents, and external authorities scrutinizing her every move, Henyard's path forward appears fraught with obstacles. The chaos engulfing Dolton under her administration has left the town divided, prompting many to question whether this is a battle over genuine leadership or a desperate attempt to hold on to power at all costs. Yet, amidst all the scandals, Henyard remains firmly rooted in her position, demonstrating her unwillingness to cede control. Whether this is out of a sense of duty or a refusal to admit defeat remains unclear, but the impact of her actions on the village is evident, leaving many to wonder if Dolton will recover from this tumultuous period. Mayor Tiffany Henyard has continued to maintain an air of invincibility amidst mounting controversies, going so far as to address her detractors in a lengthy and pointed Facebook Live video where she vowed to seek the arrest of her political opponents. Her statements were emphatic, with Henyard asserting that she would be pressing charges against anyone lying about her, a bold claim given that she did not specify what these supposed lies were or what crimes her opponents were alleged to have committed. The spectacle of a public official threatening legal action against critics in a casual, off-the-cuff social media video struck many as both bizarre and indicative of Henyard's often confrontational approach to governance. Henyard's tactic of throwing out vague threats has created a surreal dynamic where it seems she operates in her own sphere, unburdened by the realities most public servants face, and where accountability is a non-issue. She seems to believe she can shut down criticism by projecting authority and issuing threats, yet the challenge